Welcome, my friends. Thank you for being here today for this Yin session of our practice. So let's go ahead and start in a comfortable seat. And as you sit tall, I prefer to sit on a blanket. See if that works for you. Take a nice deep breath and allow your eyes to fall shut. And just notice the sensations in your body. And as you notice the sensations, notice your spine. Visualize your spine all the way from your tailbone, one vertebrae at a time, building up one on top of another to your lumbar spine. Notice the natural curvature of your lumbar spine. And continue on all the way to mid-back and upper back. And going all the way through your neck, the cervical spine. And as you notice that long, tall spine, see if you can bring your chin slightly towards your chest so that the back of your neck becomes long and you have the crown of your head, not your chin, the crown of your head lifting up towards the ceiling. And then notice your breath. Notice your natural inhales and exhales. And then as if your breath is your best friend, just have this receptive, receiving sense for your breath. As if you haven't seen your best friend in a long time and they knock on the door and you open the door. Allow your breath to have that same kind of feeling, as if you're receiving this long lost friend. And allow yourself to sit with the breath. Maybe you sit with your friend with a cup of tea, feel that sense of sitting with your breath and becoming more grounded and present. And then as you're ready, as you blink your eyes open for the remainder of the class, please try and stay connected with the breath no matter what we do. Go ahead and come to tabletop pose, please. On your hands and knees. Take a nice deep breath in, lift the chest up, send the tail up. Exhale, pull the belly around the back, come into your cat pose. And then as you come into a neutral spine, take the left leg back behind you, tuck the left toes under. Bring the inside edge of your left foot down on the floor. Keep both hands on the floor, but lift your hips up towards the sky. Exhale, lower the hips down and then roll to the outside edge of your left foot. And inhale, lift the right hip up and then come back to the center. And then this time as you bring the inside edge of the left foot, reach the left arm up. Again, reach the left arm over your head. Pause here for a moment. If you like to, you can put a blanket underneath that right knee. And then just stretch open that entire left side. Breathe into the left rib cage, into the left side body, into the left hip. Press your left foot flat on the floor. Exhale. And then lower the left hand down, come to the outside edge of the left foot. And as you're ready, extend the right leg out to the right. Place the right foot down and reach the right arm up and over, stretch it out. Breathe into the right side, the right lung, the right intercostal muscles. And then bring the hand back down, bring the right knee down. Inhale, reach the left toes back and up again. Exhale, take the left knee behind the right knee, cross the knees, and then come down on your elbows. Drop the head down, lean your hips over to the right. We're going to stay here for just a moment. So let the head really drop. Your elbows are on the floor, your hands are on the floor. Take a nice deep inhalation and exhale. And then come back on your hands to tabletop pose. Place the left knee beside the right knee. Inhale, reach the right leg back. Exhale, right knee behind the left knee. So cross it over. And then lean into the left hip as you bring the elbows down. Drop the head down. Breathe into your low back. Maybe your hips. Exhale it out. And then nice and slowly come all the way back to the center once again, tabletop. Inhale, lift the chest up. Exhale, lean your hips back. Come into your child's pose, bring the forehead down. Walk your hands over to the left and then really bow open the right side. So we're really stretching out the side body today. Can you let the right hip melt down towards the floor as you reach your left fingertips towards the left side of your mat. Let the shoulders soften, let the armpits melt towards your mat, and then maybe your forehead comes down to the floor and you can just stay here for a few breaths. Inhale into your back, your upper back, your side body. And exhale, let that right hip melt a little bit closer to the floor. And once again, inhale and exhale. And then walk your hands all the way through the center to the right side of your mat. Bring the head down in between your arms. Lean your hips over to the left. Soften through that left hip. Can you bow open the left side as you reach your hips over to the left? Feel that stretch in that left side, maybe the QL muscle on the left. Nice full breaths in and long breaths out. And then come back all the way to the center. Walk your hands to the top of your mat. We're going to come into puppy pose. That means that you're lifting the hips up and the hips are right over the knees. And then you're going to walk your hands to the top of your mat. Elbows are straight, lifted off the ground. You bring the forehead down to the floor, puppy pose. So you're really letting the heart melt in between your arms. I'm going to stay here for a moment. So if it feels uncomfortable, maybe on your knees, put a blanket under your knees. You can also put a block under your forehead. Keep the arms really active though. So lift the elbows off the ground. Feel that nice stretch in your upper back. Send your breath to wherever you're feeling the tension. The beauty of the Yin practice is you have enough time, you give yourself enough time and permission to find out where you're holding the tension. So if it's your upper back, if it's your mid back, really breathe into that space. Maybe it's your neck and the jaws. Can you open and close your jaws to make sure the jaws are relaxed? If it helps, you can always breathe out of an open mouth. Inhale through your nostrils and exhale out of an open mouth. One more deep breath in. Sigh it out. And then we're just going to gently come all the way forward into Sphinx pose. So bring the elbows right under your shoulders. And make sure the elbows are not spread out like this. So bring the elbows in, hug your rib cage in. You can press your hands down and just kind of move the upper back, shoulders around a little bit. Wiggle your hips a little bit side to side. Make sure you're not squeezing your buttocks. Your legs can be wide apart from each other. Sometimes that helps you relax the buttocks a little bit more. And we're going to stay in the Sphinx pose. If you want to, you can always put a block under your forehead and drop your forehead down. That's a really nice passive Sphinx pose. If you want to keep it a little bit more active, you can keep the head up Or you can even just drop your head down here and stretch out your neck. But let this Sphinx pose, this beautiful back bend, open up your chest, your heart, your upper back. There's going to be a little bit of a compression in your low back, but it should not feel painful. So make sure that your low back feels fine. If you feel a lot of compression, just make sure your buttocks are not squeezed. If you're contracting the glute muscles, it transfers a lot more pressure to the low back. So make sure the glutes are soft. And then your chest is lifted. One more deep breath in. Exhale. And then if you like to take this to seal pose, walk your hands to the top of your mat and gently begin to lift the torso up a little bit higher. Press your hands down. Make sure the shoulders are not coming up to the ears. So if you find the shoulders are up here, soften the shoulders down. You see I bend my elbows, that allows my shoulders to soften. And then I'm just really lifting the front side of my body. One more deep breath in. Exhale. And then gently begin to lower your elbows down again. And this time we're going to take our blanket and put the blanket under our pelvis. So come up a little bit, take the blanket, and then come back down so your hip bones are on top of the blanket. So it's a little bit higher Sphinx pose. And then you can stay here if you like to. You can bend your knees. If you feel like it, you can come back on your hands. And we're going to stay here for a moment. So this is a deeper back bend. If at any point you feel a pinching in your spine, please come down. You can always stay on your elbows, or you can just remove the blanket altogether. Or you can straighten the legs. And you can also feel free to go in between any of those. So maybe you stay here for a moment, maybe you lower the legs for a moment and come back in. Maybe you come down on your elbows for a moment and then come back up. So play with it, see what works for you. We're staying here for another 30 seconds. If you find that your arms are shaking a little bit, you can always come down on your elbows and press back up. And 10 more seconds. And then nice and slowly straighten the legs. Come down on your elbows. So now we're going to go super slow. You're going to press back to child's pose. So take it really, 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 really super slow motion. Take it all the way back to child's pose. Bring your hips down on your heels. You can stack your hands on your blanket and rest your forehead on top of your stacked hands. And then now really breathe into your low back. Allow all those muscles that we just contracted to lift the torso up. Let it all relax. And then gently come back up, please. And we're going to build another structure. So bring your blocks with you, please. You're going to put the blocks right next to each other like so. And if you have a bolster, you can just do this without the blocks. You can take your blanket and put it on top of your blocks. Or if you don't have any of those, you can just pile up a bunch of pillows or a bunch of blankets. So it's just gonna be like a little lifted, raised structure. You're gonna come down on your right side and drape your right side all the way over your structure. You can come down on your elbows, on your right elbow, or if it feels good, you can bring your torso all the way down. So there's going to be a little bit of a pressure on that right side. If it's too edgy on your rib cage or your hips, you can just put more pillows. Or maybe you want to remove the blocks and just lay on your rolled up blanket. The left arm can raise overhead. So we're going to stay here for a couple minutes, so get really comfortable. If this is not comfortable for you, please feel free to do whatever you need. Maybe put more blankets here, maybe remove the blocks, maybe just put a couple of pillows here. The intention is to get an opening in the left side while you're putting a little bit of a compression on that right side. Every time we're putting a compression on any of the body parts, we're actually kind of limiting the blood flow to that area. And then once we get out of that compressed feeling, then all the fresh fluids rush into that area. This is how we're moving energy through the system. And then if you like to, you can bring the left knee behind the right foot. So I'm extending that left leg a little bit farther out. And then I'm gonna bring the left arm over my head. I'm just gonna stay here for one more minute. Breathe into that left side again. I'm going to ask you to really visualize your rib cage, and between each rib there is a muscle called intercostal muscle. You're really stretching those muscles. Those intercostal muscles are the primary respiratory muscles, so the more flexible and supple they are, the more you're able to take into the lungs. The lungs actually don't have the ability to breathe on their own. It's all the muscles that make the lungs, the air sacs in the lungs open up. So the bigger breath you can take here, sending it into that left lung, stretching out all those intercostal muscles in between the ribs, the more health and ability, the more healthy the lungs become, and the more you're able to breathe in, the deeper breaths. One more deep breath in, and then gently and slowly begin to come all the way up. We're going to stay on this side. So if your knees are not stacked, stack your knees on top of one another. Take your structure and turn it the long way on your mat. So now the short end of your structure is facing the top of your mat, and your right thigh is against your structure. You're going to frame your structure with both hands. Inhale, lift the chest, and then exhale, you're going to bring your chest and belly on top of your structure. So you can stay here in a little twist. If you want a little bit more, you can turn your head to the right and just let your head rest on top of the structure. So in a sense, you are creating a twist in your lumbar spine, in your thoracic spine, and your cervical spine. If this bothers your neck, just turn your head to the left and you can just rest here. So go wherever your neck feels good. And we're going to stay here for 2 minutes. Close your eyes, breathe into that, your back, your sides. If you like to, you can turn your head the other way now. nice and slowly begin to come back up. So put your hands flat on your mat. Press yourself all the way up. Take your hands up, my right hand, and put it on top of your structure. Reach that left arm up, stretch out the left side, inhale. And then come all the way back to the center. And then you're just gonna switch to the other side. So I'm just gonna turn so my back isn't towards you, but initially we're gonna start with the side bend. So bring the structure so it's parallel to the top of your mat. You're sitting with your left thigh against your entire structure. And then you're just gonna drape your entire left side on top of that structure. You can stay on your right elbow if that's comfortable for you. You can also come down and rest your head on your bicep. You can reach the right arm over. These are all just options. Go wherever your body feels good. You can also take that right knee behind the left foot. And then just begin to breathe into that right side. Again, as we said on the other side, the point is to really just open up into into your intercostal muscles. So breathe into the right side, breathe into the right lung. Feel that nice stretch in that right side. And as I had said before, the right side was getting a compression. So now you're really opening up, you're sending fresh blood into the liver and all the internal organs, the ascending colon on this side. So really breathe into that entire right side. Deep breath in, exhale. And then as you're ready, gently, slowly begin to press yourself up. And you're gonna turn the structure the other way. So you're gonna make the short end of your structure be parallel to the top of your mat. Your hands are going to be on framing your structure on both sides. Inhale, lift the chest, and then exhale. Initially, just begin to bring your belly button and sternum down. You can stay down on your elbows here. You can bring your forehead down, or maybe you like to turn your head to the left or to the right. Go wherever it feels good on your neck. So you can try both sides. Maybe you want to go to the right, and then see if you want to go to the left. Try both of them and then just stay for a moment. We're staying here for 2 minutes. Just wherever you are, don't notice what's happening with your jaws and shoulders. We don't even notice it half the time. Everything starts crunching up, so make sure the shoulders are soft. If you like to, you can turn your head to the other side now. And really let that structure come up and support you. Sometimes it feels like we're holding ourselves up all the time. Can you just let that structure move up, support you, cradle you, hold you? And gently begin to press yourself all the way up, please. And you're just going to keep the structure where it is, and you're going to turn to sit against your structure. So my sacrum is against my, or close to my structure. I'm gonna put my feet flat on the floor and I'm just gonna slowly come down with my spine on my structure. Now here is really depends on you. If you have a longer torso, you may need to put another blanket on top, under your head so that your chin is not lifted up. This 2 blocks for me is fine. You can also move down a little bit if this bothers your low back. Get really comfortable. So you want the structure to be supporting your spine. If you're on a bolster, you can always put another blanket on top to like use as a pillow. But make sure that your low back feels fine. Make sure your back of your neck feels fine. And then keep the knees bent for right now. And you're just gonna let the arms rest comfortably next to you. Palms are open. Let the shoulders roll back. Let the heart be wide open, receptive. Remember that good friend, the great friend who just came to visit you. You want to receive them with open heart, open arms, with love and affection. So do that to yourself right now. Give yourself love and affection and allow your heart and arms to be open, receptive to your breath. And even if your mind starts wandering, even being receptive to the thoughts. Let the thoughts come and go. Just as if you were sitting in front of the ocean watching the waves come and go. You're not going to try and stop the waves. You just allow them to come and go. Allow the tides to come in, tides to go out, the waves to come in, the waves to go back. If this feels good and you're comfortable, you can open up your knees out to the side, bring the soles of your feet together, and just let the hips open as well now. And as you close your eyes, send your breath all the way to your belly, all the way to your hips. And with each exhalation, feel a relaxation in your hips. Feel your belly relax. Feel your chest relax. Inhale, one more deep, full breath in all the way down to your hips. Exhale, feel the hips soften. Feel the belly soften. Feel the heart space soften. One more deep inhale. And exhale. If your knees are wide apart from each other, go ahead and put your feet flat on your mat. Extend the legs out in front of you. And then reach the arms overhead. And some of you may be able to grab opposite wrists. If not, just allow the arms to hang there for a moment. We're not really staying here for that long. Just feel that stretch again in your lungs. Breathe into your heart, breathe into your lungs. Exhale. 2 more times. Nice deep breath in. Your lungs are wide open right now. Breathe as deep as you can. Exhale it out. Run open up. One more time, please. Inhale. Feel your chest expand with each inhalation. And exhale it out. And then slowly begin to come on up. So try and keep the peace you've just created. Slowly come up on your elbows first. Bend your knees. Come to a seat. And then I'm gonna give you different options here. So one option is right leg straight, bend the left knee back so that the outside of the left heel is on the outside of the left hip. And then you're gonna come down into half hero's pose. So either come down on your elbows here. If it feels good, you can lay down all the way with your palms open. If you want to, you can just stay seated. So go wherever it feels good on that left knee. Make sure the left knee is taken care of. Also, if you're feeling a little too much compression on the hip, on the spine, you can bend that right knee and put the right foot flat. So wherever is you're feeling a sense of opening in the hip as well as the quadricep on that left thigh. Just staying here for 30 seconds. Ten more seconds. And then gently begin to come back up. And we're just going to switch sides. So extend the left leg straight. If you need to, you can always just massage that left knee a little bit, shake the leg, and then once you're ready, bend that right knee back. Bring that right heel to the outside of the right hip, and then try different things. So make sure that right knee feels good. You can stay on your hands. You can come down on your elbows here, or come all the way down. As you get here, 30 seconds. If you come down and you feel like that right knee is lifted, you can always put a blanket or pillow under the knee to support it as well. So send some nice deep breaths to that right hip, to the right thigh muscle. And then super slow, begin to come back up, nice and slowly. Extend that right leg straight. You can massage that right knee a little bit. Let's move a little bit. So go ahead and move your structure to the side, please. Bring your knees to your chest. Come all the way back to tabletop pose. Inhale, lift the chest up. Exhale, pull the belly around the back. Inhale, send the left leg back behind you. Exhale, step the left foot in between your hands. Inhale, lift the torso. Bend that left knee a little bit. Exhale, take your hips all the way back to your right heel. 2 more times. Inhale, coming forward into your low lunge. Exhale, back into Ardha Hanumanasana, half split. Inhale, bend the left knee, come down. Exhale, half split. Pause here for just a moment. Lower the left toes down. Tuck the right toes under. Pick up the right knee off the ground. Twist your torso to the left. Inhale. And then exhale, lower the right knee down. Lower the hand down. Take that left knee back. Inhale, send the right leg back and up. Exhale, step the right foot in between your hands. Inhale, lift the torso, bend the knee. Exhale, take your hips back to your left heel, Ardha Hanumanasana. Inhale, come back into your low lunge. Exhale, into Ardha Hanumanasana. Once again, inhale, coming forward. Exhale, half split. Pause for just a moment. And then bring the right toes down, tuck the left toes under. Pick up the left knee off the ground, twist to the right. Reach the right arm up, inhale. Exhale, lower the knee down, lower the hand down. Inhale, back into your cat pose. Exhale, into your cat pose. And then take your hips all the way back, sit on your heels. Bring your structure again with you. And you're gonna come into supported bridge pose. So come all the way down on your back, please. Bend your knees, put your feet flat on the floor, lay down on your back first. And then with your inhalation, lift the hips up, and you're gonna slide your structure under your hips. Stabilize your hips. So because this is a passive pose, I'm just gonna make sure that my hips are really stable on top of my structure. And then I'm just gonna stay here for a moment. If you like to, you can extend the legs out. This gets you a little bit deeper stretch in the psoas muscles. But if you went there and you feel like, oh, this doesn't feel good on my back, bend the knees a little bit or a lot. So 2 minutes here. Let the arms open next to your body. Also may feel good if you want to take your arms overhead and grab opposite elbows. So that again, you're really breathing into the spread out lungs. Stretch that intercostal muscles. Close your eyes and just breathe into the entire front side of your body. Feel your belly and heart expand, and hips expand. Exhale, soften everything down to the mat. Let your exhalations just be like melted butter. If this feels good, please feel free to stay here. If you like to, you can raise one leg and then raise the other leg, come into supported shoulder stand. So when you go to if you go to supported shoulder stand, make sure that your hips feel stable, that you don't feel like you're gonna fall off your structure. You can have your gaze to your toes, your knees, your thighs. Just try not to turn your head side to side here. If you like to do any variations with your legs, feel free. You can separate your legs wide apart, or maybe you like to helicopter the legs, or maybe you like to cross one knee in front and do eagle pose with your legs. Go wherever it feels good and playful and joyful in your body. Or maybe you just want to stay still. Point and flex the feet. And then gently begin to bend your knees. Put your feet flat on your mat. Pause here for just a moment. And then with one breath, lift the hips up. Slide your structure out, away from you. And then windshield wiper your knees side to side. So drop your knees over to the left and to the right, and to the left and to the right. And then bring your knees to your chest, hands on your kneecaps. Inhale, Apanasana. Exhale, bring your knees to your chest, bend the elbows out. Inhale, your elbows become straight as you press the knees out. Exhale, knees come to your chest, elbows open. Last one, inhale and exhale. And then bring the soles of your feet together. Grab outside edges of your feet. Bring your heels a little bit closer to your groin. Stay here for just a moment. And let's do a happy baby pose. Take the outside edges of your feet. Open up your bottom of your feet towards the ceiling. You can rock your baby side to side. And let the weight of your hand bring your knees closer to your armpits. And then as you're ready, we're gonna set up for our Shavasana. So I'm gonna make a couple of suggestions to you. You can take your structure and just put it under your knees. That's a really good way of doing the Shavasana. So let your knees rest on top of your structure as you come all the way down. If you want to, you can also take your structure and put it the long way under your hips and thighs. So that's what it's gonna look like is I'm gonna bring this structure on my mat, and then I'm gonna sit on my structure, and I'm gonna move it up so my hips are on almost the top end of the structure. Then I'm gonna straighten my legs, and I'm gonna come all the way down, and so I'm in another back bend, but my legs are supported. So this is option 2. So option 1 was just under your knees. Option 2 is the long way under your hips and the thighs. And then option 3 is gonna be completely something different. It's gonna be a supported child's pose. So you can bring the big toes together, heels are an inch apart, bring the structure under your torso, and you can rest and hug your structure. So whatever, any of those options, this is our final pose. So get into whatever feels good. If you want a little bit more heart opening, you can put the structure under your legs. If you just want a regular Shavasana, you can put the structure under your knees. If you want a little bit more cozy finish, you can come into supported child's. Okay, so wherever you are, close your eyes. Let your breath be completely natural. Feel the sensations in your body. Feel your own breath. Feel the pulsations in your heart. Feel your own heart. Notice the thoughts come and go. Be welcoming to whatever you receive. Open-hearted, loving, kind, generous. And right here in this moment, perhaps set an intention to yourself to continue your practice. It has been truly my pleasure the past 3 years or so to be here with you every Friday to guide you through practice. Your efforts are certainly not wasted. So please set an intention right now to continue your beautiful, beautiful practices. As you're ready, gently begin to deepen your breath. Draw one knee to your chest and then the other knee to your chest. Rock a little bit side to side on your back. Notice which nostril you're breathing out of a little bit easier. Roll over to that side and pause for a moment. With the strength in your top arm, press yourself to a comfortable seat. Bring in your hands to the heart center. Thank you so much. I bow down to all of you. Thank you for inviting me to your home. The entire time, it's been my pleasure and an honor. Namaste.